The Saints have landed in the Windy City, ready to battle the Bears, rain, wind, or worse. Two franchises in the middle of transformation, two young quarterbacks with everything to prove. Spencer Rattler against Caleb Williams, both just getting started, both stepping into the spotlight. New eras are taking shape under offensive minds Kellen Moore and Ben Johnson, each crafting a new identity for their teams. But this clash, it runs deeper, because on the other side stands a familiar face, Dennis Allen, the Saints' former head coach, now calling the shots as Chicago's defensive commander. Old ties, new rivalries, grit, weather, and a fight for victory. Who has the edge? We break it all down right now. Welcome into Saints Game Day Live here on NewOrleansSaints.com alongside Saints legend Tyrone Hughes. I'm Erin Summers. The Saints kick things off in Chicago, Soldier Field, 12 o'clock. You can watch the game on Fox. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup because we've been watching the weather, we've been talking about the storylines, but overall, if you've been in the building, it does not feel like the Saints team is 1-5 going into this matchup. Under new head coach Kellen Moore, Tyrone, what have you seen from where this team is at?
Well, Erin, what I've seen is a great young team that's competing. Everybody's talking about, obviously the fans want the wins, but to me, they have far exceeded my expectations on the way they played against Seattle and got blown up. That's what I expected with this team the entire year. However, Spencer Rattler has stepped up, the offensive guys have stepped up, and the defense has definitely stepped up and kept them at least in the game. And every game they have competed and has been basically in the game. They just haven't been able to finish it. And the reason is because they're young and they're rookies. I mean, I tell people all the time, it takes guys about 3 to 4 years to really start understanding the NFL. And what you're seeing right now, these guys are doing a great job. They're young, the coaches are young, so everybody's really learning at the same time. But the way they've competed, and you see all of these mistakes, the penalties, whatever, those are rookie mistakes. I think in year 2, 3 down the line, you're not going to see those mistakes. And obviously, they'll start drafting more guys to see what their needs are. And you're going to have a better team. But right now, I mean, I think they're doing great.
Quarterback Spencer Rattler is in year 2. He got thrown into the fire early last season. A lot of different elements that he had to deal with there. But this year, you've seen him grow every single game. Different elements of his game have been added. The deep ball, you see him scrambling, the decision-making, how quickly he gets rid of the ball. What have you seen from him in the way that he has stepped up here, second year as a starter?
I mean, I think I see a lot of maturation. I didn't like the fact that they threw him to the Wolves last year in those situations without having the starters around him. And I think we can see now having at least working with starters and having some protection what his abilities are and what his future can be. He's doing a great job. He's stepping up in the pocket. He's running when he needs to. And I think that was one of the things that they saw last year is that obviously he has the capability of being able to escape the pocket. But now you're seeing him doing it when he has to. But also his arm has been carrying the team. And he's been making some great passes and some great throws. We just got to get the guys to hold on to some of them. But he's definitely not the reason we're losing. He's done great. He's going to be great. I even said when they drafted him, I think he could be the future franchise player. He just needed some time.
We are in the Windy City, and it is windy in Chicago.
Oh, I know.
The rain was coming down pretty heavily about an hour ago. There was big puddles on the field. They had the tarp out, but it's supposed to stop raining once the game starts. It's going to be a wet field regardless of that. The wind is going to be an element. How does that affect the game plan here?
Anytime you play outdoors, it's going to affect the way the ball moves, whether that's throwing it from the quarterback on the deep balls or punt returns, kickoff returns. I played at Soldier Field when I was there with the Chicago Bears, and I can tell you, and you're getting that wind. It's great is that they're not playing in late October or early November, where you're getting that wind coming off of Lake Michigan. But obviously, I think this is a situation where the equipment guys are going to go out early, test the field, see what type of spikes or cleats they're going to need, how that's going to affect with how wet the field is, and then also again having that wind out there is going to have a lot to do with how they change their game plan as far as passing. But a lot of this is going to be known in pregame.
Coming into this game, I think a lot of people had it circled because it was where Dennis Allen ended up after he was let go last season. He is a defensive coordinator there. players have downplayed it. You know, there is a lot of players, coaches moving around, and you see it a lot in the NFL, but are there any added emotions to this one?
I think it's added emotions to both sides, not just the Saints. I mean, obviously Dennis Allen wants to, again, he's going to say it's the next game up. That's what you're supposed to say. But deep down, he wants to beat the Saints, and he wants his defense to excel at beating the Saints. Player-wise, you know, hey, we're going to go out there and we're going to play, and we want to see and beat our old coach. But at the end, before the game, we're going to be hugging. After the game, we're going to be hugging. But during the game, it's competition.
Well, I was able to catch up with Saints head coach Kellen Moore before they headed up to Chicago, get his thoughts on this matchup and what they need to do to get the win. Coach, we're looking forward to the Bears this weekend. You've been out here practicing on the outdoor field, getting in on the grass. How's it been?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great to be outside. It's beautiful weather down here this time of year, and so it's been great for our guys to be on grass, get ready for this game.
When you look at the Bears and new coach Ben Johnson, what do you see in their offense?
Yeah, they're an offense that's getting better and better each week, and you can see their confidence growing. They're doing a good job of protecting the football and still making explosive plays, and they have the ability to run and throw in a lot of mixed down situations.
They have had a lot of takeaways of late, done very well the last 3 games, winning that turnover margin. What do you guys need to do to make sure that you guys are the ones that come up on top of that battle?
Yeah, this is a momentum thing. You know, these teams that create turnovers, and they're doing an excellent job. You know, the last 3 games, they've created so many turnovers, and it's had a huge impact. It's ultimately won them in a lot of these games, and so we got to do a great job protecting it. And our defense has some opportunities. We got a chance to rebound and steal a couple more as well.
Offensively, second year for Caleb Williams, doing a good job leading the team, but he has some good weapons as well. What's the main focus in limiting what they do?
Yeah, they got a really good perimeter. I think you just got to do an excellent job of covering them up, not giving them free opportunities, and then understand the scramble element of Caleb's game that, you know, when it does get covered up, he's going to scramble, he's going to make some plays, and he's done that tremendously for his entire career.
On the other side, defensively, they're one of the worst teams in the league against the run. How can you take advantage of that weakness?
I think you got to put yourself in position that allows you to run the football, stay ahead of the chains, run it efficiently on first and second down. We just got to do a really good job of just continue to extend drives.
What would you like to see from Kendre Miller as he continues to take steps forward in his career?
Yeah, he's just doing an awesome job. I think, you know, the combination of Kendre and Alvin is a really awesome combo for us right now. He's doing an excellent job, and we have all the confidence in the world in him.
Got a couple pieces back last week. Starting the offensive line had a full game together. How does that help this offense work at the best level?
Yeah, I think continuity is huge at the offensive line. Those guys have to work together, in a ton of different ways in every aspect of this game. And so those guys need to spend time together, invest in it. And I think we got a really good group that if they can stick together, they'll have a ton of success out there.
Somebody that I noticed often during the last game was Chase Young. He seemed to enjoy being back on the field. What does he add to the defense?
Yeah, Chase's energy is contagious. Everyone embraces it. He's done an excellent job. He's really close to making some big-time plays last week, and we have all the confidence he's going to do it this week.
Been in some close games here, Coach. So how much does closing them out, getting the win, start with how you start the game?
Yeah, no question. I think we talked about the plays that can impact the game can happen anyway from the first quarter all the way through the fourth and beyond. And so we got to take advantage of every opportunity we have.
All right, got to ask you. You're going to Chicago. You a deep dish guy?
A little more New York style, but I'll embrace the Chicago every once in a while.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Coach Moore, a New York-style pizza guy, not deep dish. I mean, you got to have it when you're in Chicago, though.
You got to have it in Chicago, just like you got to have the one in New York. So
yeah,
it depends on where you're at, and you got to have gumbo when you come to New Orleans.
Exactly. They talked a little bit about the run game, or Coach Moore did, and how the dynamic between Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller is working. It's nice to see dual backs back here in New Orleans.
It does, because it takes a lot of pressure off of Alvin. And what happens is we've always needed that big, whether that's Taysom Hill or Kendre Miller, we need that big bruising back to run inside and basically pound against the defense, to where when Alvin comes in, now he's a little bit more finesse and he doesn't have to run between the tackles, because we see over his career, I mean, he's getting a little older, but he's still a good player, running back, so he can't be doing all of those carries in between the tackles.
Couple players coming back from injury. You mentioned Taysom Hill, Chase Young getting back for the first time last game. How would you like to see him continue to make an impact on the game?
And again, last week I think he was an impact. He didn't have it stat-wise, so nobody's going to really see what he did, but he did have an impact on the game. And I think it's just something where hopefully as he continue to be healthy and continue to play, get back into the rhythm, because he missed what I think was 3 or 4 games. It's still going to take him some time to get back into game shape.
All right, well, let's throw it to Scott Shanley. He's going to give us his matchups to watch in this one with the Saints in Chicago.
All right, let's take a look at the Saints-Bears matchup today in Soldier Field and find out where the key matchups are and where the advantages lie for both teams. I think obviously when you look at the Bears, the number one advantage they have is how much they've taken the football away. Number one in the NFL in takeaways. So Dennis Allen has brought that aggressive mindset, stripping the football, intercepting the football, taking that football away, giving the ball back to them offensively. And they're also top 5 in the NFL in third down defense, only allowing 30% conversion rate on third down. They're getting teams into third and long. So they've been doing a really good job defensively of giving their offense an advantage every single week with getting them the football back. Bears offensively, you look at Caleb Williams, he has not yet taken that big jump a lot of people thought he would take, but he's been playing really good, consistent football. DeAndre Swift has been a really good running back, running the football for the Bears. But I think the key player offensively for the Bears is Rome Odunze. Young wide receiver, him and Caleb Williams are on the same page. They've really developed good chemistry together. And Rome leads the league on 15 yards or more receptions on third down. So he's a big play guy, especially on third down. And you look for that only to go up with DJ Moore's injury status. We'll see how much he plays today, whether or not he plays. He's been banged up since the last game. And those targets obviously will go to Rome or Loveland, the tight end. So you have to watch for those two players offensively. But for the Saints offensively versus the Bears defense, I really like the amount of motioning the Saints are using offensively. They're 5th in the league in the amount of pre-snap motion. The Bears, however, they are dead last in the NFL when teams motion. They're getting up 7 yards per play to pre-snap motion. What that tells you is maybe there's some eye discipline problems defensively for the Bears, guys getting confused, and that's why offenses like to use that motion. It changes guys' responsibilities at the last second. So there's some confusion going on there based on what the numbers are telling you. The Bears really struggle against pre-snap motion. And then you look at the yards per play the Bears are giving up. They're also near the bottom in just yards per play. They're giving up explosive plays. So it's a little bit of feast or famine. They're taking the football away or they're giving up big plays. You like Shaheed vertically in the deep game. Obviously last week Chris opened the game up with a deep ball. So I look for the Saints to be a little more aggressive vertically against this Bears defense because of the amount of big plays they've been giving up this year. And then just running the football. You have the advantage to run the football against this Bears defense. Dennis Allen has always liked nickel defense, taking that bigger linebacker off the field, putting a smaller DB on the field. And what that does, it gets more speed on the field. It's good for the passing game, but it's hard to stop the running game when you have those lighter bodies in the box. So I look for the Saints maybe to bring Foster and Taysom, get some bigger bodies on the field, wear down this Bears defensive front, especially when they're in that nickel front. I think those are the key advantages of the Saints in getting this win today on the road in Soldier Field.
That was Scott Shanley breaking down the Bears for us, what he thinks the Saints need to do. And you look at that Bears defense, I mean, he said it. The takeaways stand out, top of the league in takeaways, forced turnovers, and they're not just interceptions. They are going after ball carriers, and they are punching balls out, forcing fumbles. What do the Saints have to do to make sure that they don't turn it over and they don't give the ball away?
And again, everybody wants to know how to stop turnovers or how to stop from fumbling the ball. Well, interceptions is a given, but how to stop fumbles. You can't. I mean, if you focus on it, then you're going to fumble more. It's just a matter of going into practice, making sure you protect the ball. A lot of guys wear these sleeves, where those sleeves could actually help cause the fumble. But one of the things I see today, more so than ever, is guys are on the defensive side, regardless of the teams, they're going after the ball.
Yeah.
And to a detriment sometimes because they're willing to give up longer runs because they're still, instead of making the tackle, they're trying to knock the ball out or punch it out or cause the fumble. So, I mean, I think defensively teams across the league have really expressed it, but running backs, receivers, quarterbacks, when they're running, they just have to be more conscious of, holding on to the ball and protecting it. Obviously, it's not something that they're trying to do, but it happens.
When you look at this game and the matchups here, the Saints want to start faster. They have had opportunities throughout games to start with a lead. How key is that for them, this one?
It's really key for them, especially against this defense when you're saying that the defense has been having problems with stopping the run. I think that's one of the best things that the Saints can do, especially with having the starting offensive line that they have and everybody being intact, That's their thing. They can run the ball. We got Alvin, we got Kendre Miller. Run the ball, establish that, then that's going to open up the deep passes or for play actions, or even like he's saying with pre-snap motions or whatever, they've been kind of getting confused. So you have to play to all of that, but you have to start off early. I mean, when you look at the Saints, I think the end of the second half, end of the first half, and the end of the games, they've been right in it, and they've been having drives. But somewhere early on in both halves, they're killing themselves with penalties and keeping them staying behind the chain. So they just basically have to start off early and be more consistent. And I think, again, it's dealing with a lot of young guys. They're learning as time goes on.
Yeah, well, in establishing that run game, hopefully they have the right shoes on, the cleats and everything with the mud, so they can get going.
That's going to be a must today. So hopefully they got the right cleats. The equipment guys have them in place. And I hope Cam, I know he said he didn't, but I hope he was in Kellen Moore's ear and Dustmeyer's ear all week long telling them what defenses Dennis likes to run, because loyalty's out the door now.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to bring Stan Verrett in now, get his recipe for success in this one so we can get the win in Chicago.
The Saints head to Chicago Sunday looking for their first road win of the season. Let's take a look at the recipe for success for that game. It begins with a better start on defense. Opponents have scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives in each of the Saints' last 4 games. And as a result, their point differential is -49. Now that's historically bad. It's the second worst in the NFL since 2000. The Bears have made a habit of starting quickly. They're averaging 7.5 first quarter points. That's good for 3rd in the NFL so far this season. Getting behind early can affect the offensive game plan and put the Saints in passing situations early in games much more than they'd like to be. And the defense has played much better once they've gotten into the flow of games. So getting early stops against the Bears has to be an important part of the game plan this week. The second ingredient is protecting the ball. The Bears have already had their bye week, so they've played only 5 games, while most NFL teams have already played 6. Still, Chicago has 12 takeaways, good for 2nd in the NFL. And that total includes 8 interceptions, also good for 2nd in the NFL. Dennis Allen's defense turned 3 takeaways into 13 points against the Commanders on Monday night, and they kicked a game-winning field goal in the final seconds after a late fumble recovery. The Saints, meanwhile, missed out on a chance for a game-winning drive against the Patriots due to a late fumble. So those plays decide games. Saints have to protect the ball better if they're going to beat the Bears in Chicago on Sunday. They also have to make a priority of getting the ball into the end zone, which has been a recurring theme so far this season. The Saints offense is averaging 1.5 touchdowns per game. That's 30th in the NFL. And they're also 29th in red zone touchdown percentage. Saints should be able to run the ball against the Bears defense. They're giving up 5.7 yards per carry and 156 yards per game on the ground. Those are both second to last in the NFL. But in the red zone, the Saints may want to consider throwing the ball more. The Bears have given up 9 red zone touchdowns through the air. That's tied for the 4th most in the NFL. Saints will have to score points if they're going to beat the Bears. Chicago has scored at least 21 points in every game this season, and they're the only team in the NFL that's done that. Aaron, back to you.
Hopefully the Saints are the ones that are forcing the takeaways in this one, because that's how they got the win against the Giants. We need to do it again so we get the win in Chicago. Stan Verrett, I don't know, he must have the most widespread Rolodex and list of people that he knows, because he brings in a new celebrity guest every single week. And this week he caught up with Wendell Pierce. You ever watch The Wire? Anything like that?
I know Wendell very well.
There we go.
He's
See?
He's the hometown kid. So
he is.
I know him very well.
All right, well, Stan was able to catch up with him. They reminisce about the Saints fandom.
All right, thanks, guys. Joining us now on Saints Game Day Live, the star of Elsbeth on CBS, a lifelong Saints fan and the pride of Pontchartrain Park.
Yes.
Oh, man, Wendell Pierce, great to see you, man. How's everything?
Everything's going great, man.
As I mentioned, lifelong Saints fan. Take us back to your first memories of being a Saints fan growing up.
Man, I remember on Sundays parking the car at my grandmother's and walking across Claiborne Avenue to Tulane Stadium. And
Wow. Going way back.
we had nosebleed seats. I remember Archie Manning running around. You know, it was fun. I didn't know that he was being chased. One of my earliest memories was I was there when Tom Dempsey kicked the longest field goal, which seemed like it's nothing nowadays, but 63 yards against the Detroit Lions. I'll never forget. And they lined up for the kick, and my father said, "Oh, this is crazy. Come on, let's go. Beat the traffic." So we started walking, and I remember looking up and seeing through the vom just the ball go by.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I knew, I thought an earthquake had happened because the stadium was rocking when it went through, everybody cheering. We ran up the vom and got to see the famous, huddle on the field where everybody ran from the sidelines. Congratulations, Tom Dempsey. It was great, man. That's my earliest Saints memory.
All right, rebuilding season right now. Saints 1-5 and building under Kellen Moore. How are you feeling about things so far?
You know, man, it's so funny. The record does not reflect the way I feel about this team. I love the reasoning of our head coach. I love the way he's working. He's developing people, and that gives Rattler a chance to just be settled and be thoughtful. I think we're going to win this game. I think I put Rattler above Caleb Williams at this point. He's inconsistent, where I feel as though Rattler is consistent, and we just got to figure out our red zone offense, and I think we'll be fine.
I love talking to longtime Saints fans about this because it seems like everybody has a great story. Where were you for the Super Bowl after the 2009 season?
I was in Miami.
Of course you were.
I was in Miami, but two moments I'll never forget.
Okay.
Long lines at the bathroom. After the halftime show, I wanted to see the Who. If I'm here at the Super Bowl, I'm going to see the Who.
Okay.
The Who play. I go to the bathroom, and I come back out. I'm waiting to see the great Saints defense. How'd we get the ball? I missed the onside kick.
Oh, no. I thought you saw it. Okay, you missed it.
I did not see it, man. I did not see it. I cannot believe this is the first time I'm admitting to it,
Okay, all right.
And then
breaking news here.
I remember crying at the end,
Yep.
I see Porter running down the field, pointing like that. And I remember being in tears. And I was on the Colts side. There was very few Saints fans around me.
Yep.
And there's the little kid, I can see him right now, looking up at me saying, "What is this grown man crying about?" And I remember looking down at him saying, "One day, kid, you'll understand this." Yep. I literally said that to him. And looking at the way the Indianapolis Colts are playing this year, that kid may be crying at the Super Bowl in San Francisco. Yep. Tears of joy, Yeah.
Colts off to a good start this season. Saints at 1-5, but Wendell's already called it a win over the Bears. My man, we appreciate you joining us on Saints Game Day Live. Check out Wendell on Elsbeth, CBS, Thursday, 9 Central Time. That's WWL Channel 4 in New Orleans. Wendell, we appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, man. We just need 9 wins. 10, we're in. 10, we're in. We could do it. We're going to go on a run right now.
I love his outlook on things here. He said just 9 more wins, we're going to go on a run, and I'm all about that.
Wendell is a hometown staple. Everybody knows Wendell Pierce, but Wendell, how did you miss the ambush? You got to get out of that bathroom.
At least he was there for the win, though. I'm sure that was a great game to be at. Taking a look at the list of inactives for the Saints who is in and out, it is mostly healthy scratches in this one. The only player that we were watching was cornerback Isaac Yadam. He just returned this week from a hamstring injury, was able to practice in full on Friday. but just not quite ready to jump into the game yet. So it will be rookie cornerback Quincy Riley who continues to start in his spot. Again, these young players getting some run.
They're getting some runs early, and again, that's learned. Throwing them in the game right now, you got to learn. I mean, a lot of these guys, like I said, it takes them about 3 or 4 years to start understanding the game. But a lot of times, you're just out there being an athlete and using what you have and what you've learned, trying to get understanding from practices and what you're going to go through. But once you're out on that field, really and truly, all of that kind of goes out the window. You're just playing.
Yeah. Well, I know you played for both the Bears and the Saints, but today,
oh, definitely the Saints.
We're a Saints fan, right?
We're a Saints fan. Oh, definitely. I didn't have a good experience with Wannstedt, so yeah, I'm always going to be a Saints fan.
Good. We love that. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Tyrone. It's
Thanks
been
for
awesome
having me.
having you on the pregame show. Again, the Saints taking on the Bears, 12 o'clock on Fox. And don't forget to come right back here, NewOrleansSaints.com, for our postgame show. Scott Shanley will join me to break this entire game down. So have fun. For Tyrone Hughes, I'm Erin Summers. Enjoy the game.